everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Weather Seekers podcast. We are on the road today. I am in Anchorage. I am not in Juneau. I'm here with Kayla Tinker. Welcome.
Wow, thank you.
Welcome. So this is kind of special because this is the first on the road forecast or on the road interview, but also you were at the Juneau office for a little while.
I was, yep.
Before you came to Anchorage here at Region. And so let's get to know you a little bit before we find out what exactly that you do here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Start with your name and your job title.
Okay, Kayla Tinker. I am a sea ice meteorologist.
Sea ice meteorologist.
Yes.
All right. So I'm guessing the what we used to tease you with is there's not a lot of ice desk emergencies.
Correct, yeah.
All right. So
It's usually pretty chill is what I say.
Oh, that's I get it. That almost went over my head. Okay, so that's fun. So then, how long have you been in Alaska Region? Because we came about the same time, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah, we were hired at the same time. So I was in Juneau for a year and a half, and then we moved to Anchorage, and I've been here for a year and a half because we'll hit our 3 years.
Yeah. We joined in September. Mm-hmm. You got to Juneau a long way before I did, though.
Yeah, we moved to Alaska September 9th was our 3 year.
Okay, excellent. And so, where did you come from? Where did you move to Alaska Region from?
Yeah, so before Alaska, we were living in Vermont. So that's where we came from.
A little bit of a stretch from where you came from.
Yeah, it was a long drive. We did it in 7 days or 6 days.
Okay, so you drove the whole way?
We did.
Okay,
Yep.
You took through Canada?
Yep.
Nice.
Correct.
And so what were you doing there? Were you in school there in Vermont, or were you just like doing odd jobs waiting for the weather service to open up?
Yeah, so good question. We'll start with before I moved to Vermont, I was working in New York City at NASA there. And so then...
We're just peeling the layers back. We're not going to get to the ice desk interview here.
So from there, I left that position because my husband and I were doing long distance and we wanted to close the gap of distance and moved to Vermont. Started working online as a math tutor for a little bit. And then also as a math adjunct at the school that I had graduated from in Vermont. And then I also worked with dogs as well.
Doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, did a bunch of things.
Okay, so where'd you go to school?
Linden State College, which is now Northern Vermont. No, Vermont State University is what it's called now.
All right.
Yeah.
And would you get your degrees in? I'm guessing mathematics of some kind and meteorology?
Correct. So atmospheric science and applied mathematics.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And so you graduated, started working all those odd jobs.
Yep.
And also with dogs. Because you have a couple of Great Danes.
Yes.
Which we'll get into that later on. That's a whole fun aspect there. So why did you go after the weather service? Why not go anywhere else and do meteorology? Why did you want to come to the weather service?
Oh, good question. I would say I learned a lot about the weather service from other friends who had left other positions for the weather service and started to learn more about how if you don't want to just forecast, you don't have to do that within the weather service. There's other projects and things that you can work on, leadership skills that you can grow throughout the weather service. So I'm glad that I did that now that I'm in sea ice too. So
that's really interesting because in some other interviews that we've done, they went into the weather service because they enjoyed the forecasting aspect. And you're going into it because you found out you didn't have to forecast.
Yeah. Well, I had heard because I connected with Cody Moore via Facebook before even moving to Alaska because I was pretty sure we wanted to move to Alaska to join the weather service and also in general, we wanted to move to Alaska. And he was like, Alaska region is very heavy on forecasting compared to other regions, but I was willing to take that chance to be able to move to an area that we knew that we would enjoy living. And I was able to fit in other things that I enjoyed throughout the workday anyways, so I was able to make it work for the interests that I had.
Yeah, you're big into coding. I know you like to do that as well.
Correct.
What were some of the other aspects that you enjoy doing that you were able to squeeze into your normal day-to-day routine of making the forecast and writing TAFs and the marine forecast and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I learned that there's different aspects of forecasting I do enjoy. Like I really enjoy TAFs, which is the aviation aspect. I enjoy the climate aspect of things a lot, like going out and just measuring the snow, something really basic. I really like to do that too. It was scary at first because I was afraid of bears. So I was afraid I was going to get attacked by a bear in Juneau. And then I overcame that. That's not a fear anymore. But now it's moose here.
Moose, yes. That's a whole nother ballgame. We don't have to deal with that in Juneau. So if you want to get away from the moose. I know where to send you. Okay, so you said you wanted to come to Weather Service because of not having a forecast. That's going to be my thing now. But you said you wanted to come to Alaska region.
Yes.
So why did you specifically choose Alaska?
So when I was applying to Alaska region, at the same time I had another interview with someone in New England that wasn't meteorology. And we were talking about, okay, if I got that one, we're just moving somewhere else in New England. And we just didn't want that at the time, still don't want that right now. And the position came up in Alaska and we could apply to all three. I applied to all three, Juneau, Fairbanks, Anchorage, but educating myself about the different areas, I really wanted Juneau. And so when I got the email from Jeff saying, hey, you have an interview in Juneau, I was ecstatic because we just felt like the lifestyle there was what we were looking for. Coming from like a town of like 3,000 people going to Juneau, which is 30,000, so it was a little bit bigger. The water aspect there, it was just what we were looking for. Yeah.
But jumped from the weather forecast office to the ice desk. What attracted you to want to go to the ice desk? What was so different about it from the outside?
So my master's is in physical oceanography, so more of like the ocean side of things I have a little bit more interest in than the meteorology aspect of things. So being able to move into that field but not have to leave Alaska is really great. And then just knowing even in Juneau that we would probably move to Anchorage eventually anyways, just because there would be more opportunities here. It all just worked out.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so now you're at the ice desk. But what does the ice desk actually do? What's in your day to day, and then we'll get into the big picture.
Sure.
So you show up on Monday morning. But after you log in and get coffee.
Yes, of course. Coffee first, always. On our day-to-day, the main things that we're looking at is satellite data and imagery of where the ice is today. And we have a map and we draw around of where the ice is located today. And we send that out. And we also do a 5-day out forecast. So today I'll put a forecast out for where I think the ice will be on Saturday. Okay. And that's mostly with the ice edge. So right now the ice is still melting. So we'll see like a retreat within the next 5 days. So those would be the two core things that we're working on each day.
Okay. And then from the bigger picture, because I'm guessing in July you probably don't have a lot of icing to deal with. But then wintertime comes, it's going to be very important. I've watched Deadliest Catch. I know how important it is to me what the ice is. And that's the extent of my knowledge of what you do. So the big picture, what is it that you do, on a 30,000 foot view of the ice desk?
Yeah.
What you do.
So like you're saying, like in the winter and spring is when we have a lot more duties that we need to be doing. One of the things we do is sea ice for walrus outlook, which is called SIWO, and we work with the Fairbanks WFO, and we work with the SIWO community, and they pretty much send in pictures of where they're seeing walrus, and we help out in the sea ice aspect of things, of where the sea ice is going to be, so they can go out and hunt for walrus. And the WFO Fairbanks side helps with the weather forecast aspect of it.
That's really neat because you have a very direct impact on what people need.
Correct.
For the day-to-day. That's really cool. I mean, best I can do is make aviation forecast, and here's how much snow you're going to get. And you're directly helping people with getting food and hunting. That's
and
cool.
We'll get other calls for more of like we also do a 3-month outlook. And that's good for refueling communities. So like a barge needs to come up and then they would want to know when is it going to be ice free so they can go up, situations like that in terms of helping communities know when they can get their supplies.
That's really cool. And then because I know you also like to code. Is there anywhere at the ice desk where you can also introduce some coding?
There is. Yes, we love it. So our process that we use is through ArcMap right now. We're going to be upgrading to Arc Pro, but the back end of that you can program through Python and ArcPy. So I've written a few different scripts that download our data for us faster, saves us like 30 minutes a day. And then I also do a project for verifying the forecast, the Ice Edge portion of our forecast, and that is run through Python. So yeah, I like coding, so I find ways to do that.
That's pretty neat that you're able to find ways to take your day to day and just make it simpler using code. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about who you are and what you do. What would be some of the skills that you would need to work at the ice desk?
I would say the main thing would be being able to be independent and autonomous, because a lot of the days we work by ourselves. So you are the only person on. So if someone calls with an issue, you need to know what to do or how to respond. So like I said, we'll have boaters call looking for updates, short-term or long-term. People will email us for data access, so how to download the data and send that to them, stuff like that. So yeah, really being able to be your own leader and work autonomously.
That's neat. All right, and so now let's go back a little bit further in your job history. What were some of the non-weather jobs that you did, either in high school or college, that gave you the skill set to work autonomously, to be able to be by yourself but complete the job?
Yeah.
Did you have any jobs that you did?
Yeah, so I worked as a dog daycare attendant, and some of the time I would be by myself through the day. So most of those duties would fall on me, dog safety, or a customer came to pick up their dog. So a lot of customer service, those types of situations. I think any type of position with customer service is very, very, very important for probably any job.
Yeah, for sure. And what also I'm hearing is that when it comes to working autonomously, you also have to have the confidence to do what it is you do. And so having those jobs where you are by yourself sometimes to build that confidence, say, I can do this job.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
And it started with dogs.
Yes.
Dogs are pretty great, though. All of them, from the tiny little terriers to the big old, what do you have again?
Great Dane.
Great Danes. I was going to call them St. Bernard, but I'm like, yours is bigger than that. Okay, so let's move on to what you like to do outside of work. I'm guessing dogs are probably important.
Yes.
So what do you do on your days off?
Love my dogs.
You have 2 Great Danes, right?
So we lost one. He was old. At the average age, I think, for them right now is 6 or 7. He was 9.
Oh, so nice.
That was good.
Way to be an outlier.
Our younger one, she'll be 4 in January. So yeah, she's the one that we have right now.
I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, when you got the Great Dane, was Scooby-Doo in the realm of names?
So, no.
What?
But when I was in Vermont, I was volunteering with the animal shelter, and they had a Great Dane there that was named Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And they were snatched up right away.
Of course they were. Okay, so moving on from dogs, what else do you enjoy doing here in Alaska? Because obviously you moved from the East Coast to Alaska, so I'm sure there's a lot of outdoorsy stuff you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a cloudy summer, but we went to the Alaska State Fair a few times. Love going to the fair, seeing the animals. Walking around the neighborhood. We did a kayaking tour in Seward, and that was amazing. I love kayaking. We do a lot of just general travel, but in Anchorage, it's just nice because the airport's really close, but B, if you want to stay in town, there's just so many things to do in terms of like food and drink and going out and spending time with people. I play pickleball sometimes with Kitty, who's my wonderful friend and coworker, and she puts those on for a lot of us to go and do that together. So that's really nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, excellent. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
I think back to a time when you were in Juneau. The one thing that you showed me is, and we've talked about it on previous podcast episodes, the teamwork aspect of a WFO is so prominent. And what you showed me is I don't have to have all the skills necessary. And because like coding, like I could do it, but I'm not good at it. So like an introduction student would look at my stuff and go, that's terrible. But having someone like you who enjoyed coding and taking our day-to-day tasks and making them simpler, it like opened my eyes to, I don't have to have all the skills. I can just have like an idea and then go, hey, can you do this? And you'll say, sure. And then it's done like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So thanks, for being a part of WFO Juneau and showing, widening my eyes of what is in the Weather Service and how things can be done. So
I think that
really
summarizes the Weather Service really well, though, is that everyone has different skill sets, and that's the importance of the Weather Service, is that you do have different skill sets, and we're not just all copycats of each other.
Yeah, and we're all in this doing the same thing, which is the mission, protection of life and property, enhancement of the national, and I would add local economy, as you mentioned earlier, where you help with the walrus hunts, and so that's helping with the local economy. And we all do all these different pieces, but we're all doing it in one direction, the same goal, and this is neat. Yeah. Anyway, so once again, thanks for being on the podcast today. It's been fun.
Thanks for flying to Anchorage.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.